Coming up on BCN today, Lethbridge City Manager Bramwell Strain resigns. The mayor says he's shocked by the move. Plus, RCMP arrests a Blood Tribe man in connection with a weekend shooting on the Blood Reserve. And former Humboldt Bronco Ryan Snitsky returns home to Alberta to talk about the spinal surgery he underwent in Thailand.
Your Canada. Your Southern Alberta. Your stories. From our studios in the heart of Lethbridge, it's BCN Today with Jeanette Roche.
Hello, thank you for joining us. City of Lethbridge Manager Bramwell Strain has tendered his resignation, citing personal reasons for the decision. Strain moved to our city from Winnipeg in August of 2018. One of his first tasks was leading the city through a comprehensive operational review. Mayor Chris Spearman says that City Council was shocked by the resignation and that he will be missed.
He was the source of sound and practical advice to City Council. Mr. Strain supported and worked hard to implement our strategic plan. He possesses a unique set of skills, and he will be missed. I think I can speak for all members of City Council. We were shocked. We were surprised and disappointed. We thought things were going well, and they are going well. This is a personal decision, a private decision, and we respect that.
I am leaving for personal reasons. That is it. That is all. It's got nothing to do with controversy or pushback. In fact, in this type of job, that happens. That's part of it. I actually think the community's been very respectful in terms of any pushback for those folks who don't agree with some of the things that we've done in the past 16 months. So by no means is that the reason. That political discourse, I'm very proud of that. You know, the fact that there's people attending, the fact that you guys care that this is happening today, the fact that we had protests around the safe consumption side, the level of political involvement I feel is really ramped up, no matter what side of an argument you're on. So that kind of involvement, that's democracy. And the second that we forget about that, and the second people stop participating, I think that's when you have to be worried.
A four-member committee has been formed to search for a new city manager. The committee consists of Mayor Chris Spearman, councillors Jeff Kaufman, Belinda Croson, and Joe Morrow. Strain will be leaving his post as city manager in the new year. Want to have your say on the potential future of Alberta? Head to Exhibition Park tonight from 7 till 9 p.m. at Heritage Hall Pavilion. Members of the Fair Deal panel will be there to ask how to best define and secure a fair deal for the province and how to advance vital economic interests. Feedback will help to form the panel's recommendations to the Government of Alberta. This week, City Council discussed how much councillors and the mayor get paid, and it appears as though there will be no raises for 2020.
We're very well aware of what the economic conditions are right now, and Council always wishes to lead the way. So we set this resolution to hold 0% for Council and 0% for administrative staff for 2020. And of course, it'll be reevaluated at the end of the year to see if it should remain or what should happen. But we cannot ask other people to take cuts and make changes as we're doing the operating reviews unless we are planning to actually lead as councillors.
Lethbridge City Council also approved $300,000 to renovate the local shelter to accommodate for an Intox program. It should provide intoxicated people a safe place to sober up. They would also have access to various housing and healthcare programs. The UCP government will pick up the operational costs. Police have arrested a Blood Tribe man following a shooting over the weekend at the Blood Reserve. Authorities say a 41-year-old man was shot and airlifted to a Calgary hospital with life-threatening injuries. The RCMP Major Crimes Unit arrested 29-year-old Kyle Lewis Crowchief, who is facing a charge of attempted murder, and the investigation continues. RCMP are looking for a man in connection with the robbery of a liquor store in Pincher Creek. Monday night around 6 p.m., the lone suspect took 2 cases of vodka, and when he was approached by a staff member, he pulled out a knife and used it in a threatening manner. He walked out of the store with the booze in hand and then drove off. The man was wearing a black hoodie, a black toque, and black jeans. He appeared to have dark skin and was in his 20s. If you've seen this man, call Crime Stoppers or the Pincher Creek RCMP. The Cardston man who was accused of illegally selling from a gun store had his day in court. BCN's Loris Alexander was at the Lethbridge Provincial Courthouse with the details.
The courtroom was packed with supporters for Dean Sommerfeld. Sommerfeld was charged in spring 2017, accused of selling guns and ammunition illegally. Court heard that on several occasions, customers and undercover police officers were sold ammunition without having a possession and acquisition license known as PAL. Sommerfeld will be back in court on January 13th.
The investigation into the disappearance of Marshall Iwasa continues. Iwasa left Lethbridge on November 17th, headed to Calgary, but he never arrived. His burned-out truck was found on November 25th near Pemberton, BC. Police say the search for Iwasa has been put on hold until they get more leads. Marshall Iwasa's sister, Paige Fogan, says she's thankful that so many people have helped, but this is still a very tough time for her family.
Yeah, it has been really difficult. We really have been leaning on each other quite a bit, for support, and it's been really great seeing all the community support that we've received. We have people reaching out to us daily, offering their support, and the biggest thing for us is offering to help spread the word about Marshall and his photo and his flyers.
The Find Marshall Iwasa Facebook group has 5,300 members, with many saying that they've shared updates and posted his photo in various communities. Lethbridge police have a plan to tackle the crime in our city. Lethbridge City Council heard about a new proposal from interim police chief Scott Woods about creating a new crime suppression team. It would be made up of 8 veteran police officers, and it would start next month. The price tag would be $4 million. $3 of the $4 million would be attached to next year's budget. Chief Woods says creating this new vice squad within the LPS would have an immediate impact on crime in our city.
One of the things that gets lost in our business quite regularly is the impact and the workload on our non-police staff. And our staff, I would suggest, are equally overworked, equally stressed and strained as our front line is dealing with this crisis. And the reality is the more officers you hire or bring into an organization, the more work that gets put down the line to those people that aren't police officers, more reports we write, more people bring them into custody, more resources we require to deal with IT needs, more computers. All those things flow down and they often get forgot. And that's an unfortunate thing because this resolution was specific to 8 officers, but those issues need to be addressed as well within our police service.
Well, what I hope that it means is more resources for the police service. Honestly, I think we've been working pretty hard with the city and with the police service itself to try and procure the number of resources that we need to offer the services that the city deserves, particularly in light of what the conditions are in our community right now.
Lethbridge police have laid charges against 5 people in connection with the stabbing of a 16-year-old boy. The incident occurred last Thursday around 11:30 p.m. in a back alley along the 200 block of Mayor McGrath Drive. Courts heard that the teen was jumped by the group. Someone called for help after spotting the injured teen. He was taken to hospital but later was transferred to Calgary for treatment of serious injuries. The investigation revealed that an 18-year-old woman lured the 16-year-old into the alley where he was attacked. 19-year-old Alexander Styra and 18-year-old Trinity Savard face a long list of charges, including assault. 3 other young people who cannot be identified because they are underage also face charges. It came, it went, and it won't be back for 2 more years. The CP holiday train rolled into Lethbridge last night at 7 p.m. behind the Save on Foods parking lot. Country stars Terry Clark and Dallas Smith were on board performing. The holiday train has now raised close to $16 million and collected 4.5 million pounds of food since its inaugural journey back in 1999.
So we have lots of volunteers at the CP train. We'll have different groups going around with our bins collecting food donation. We'll also have set up a booth with hot chocolate, which is actually donated by our local Tim Hortons. And the staff will be there, the volunteers will be there, and Santa will also be there giving out some candy and walking around and basically spreading that holiday cheer.
We'll have more on that event from last night on tonight's newscast at 5 p.m. The CP actually has 2 holiday trains. The one with Terry Clark will wrap up in the Vancouver area on December 17th. The other, featuring Alan Doyle, which departed Montreal on November 25th, will have its final show December 18th in Gleason, Alberta, that is. Operation Red Nose has been operating in Lethbridge for 25 years. This group of dedicated volunteers are like Santa's little helpers, helping you get home safely with your own vehicle if you've had a few too many drinks over the Christmas season. And as always, the money goes towards a good cause.
We operate in teams of 3. There's an escort driver that takes the designated driver and navigator around town and picks up the client in their own vehicle and drives them home. So on any given night, we have anywhere between 60 and 85, 90 volunteers. Lethbridge is a community that has supported the university and Pronghorn Athletics to a high extent. So us being able to provide people a safe ride home during the holiday season, where a lot of people are getting together with their families and spending important time together, that's something that we find value in, and I know our athletes as well. They sometimes are able to take people home that they might see at some of their games and some of their events, and supporting them in different ways. And for us to be able to give back is a huge piece for us.
You can call 403-320-4155 to book the service. Well, it appears as though more people may be finding jobs in southern Alberta. According to Stats Canada, the unemployment rate for the Lethbridge and Medicine Hat region dropped to 4.9% in November. That's an improvement of the October rate of 6.4%. The overall Alberta unemployment rate jumped a 0.5 percentage point, however, up to 7.2%, with the loss of 18,000 jobs. Nationally, the Canadian economy shed over 71,000 jobs in November, with unemployment at 5.9%. An Alberta hockey player who was paralyzed following the Humboldt Broncos bus crash says he feels good after receiving spinal surgery in Thailand. Ryan Snitsky says he was glad to feel a cold Canadian winter as he and his father Tom landed at the Calgary airport. He had an epidural stimulator implanted in his spine, which allowed him to strengthen his leg and walk with assistance. It was a procedure which cost his family $100,000.
Feel good to be home?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I felt that cold wind hit my legs, so I'm feeling good. Feeling good to be back. So the first time I moved my legs was pretty incredible. I didn't necessarily feel it, but they set the right program for a certain muscle to move, and it was crazy. I mean, at the first few weeks, the muscles were pretty weak, but over time, through lots of physio, they got really strong. It's a weird technique. They kind of said you had to breathe with the motion, and it took a while to get down, but they set all the programs, and I'm ready to go. I think just getting that feeling back of being able to move something that I wasn't able to move before, and I know core is a huge part of my disability, so anything below my chest is crucial, and after the programming it really helped.
The Alberta government is putting more money into anti-bullying initiatives. Minister of Education Adriana Lagrange said the province will be providing a grant of $300,000 over the next 4 years to support the Respect in School initiative and educate school system employees on their responsibilities to ensure students are safe from abusive situations. The program will train teachers, school bus drivers, and parent volunteers about how they can prevent bullying, harassment, and discriminating in their schools. The province also has an anti-bullying helpline at 1-888-456-2323. Premier Jason Kenney is in Ottawa for a political trade mission designed to put pressure on the Liberal government to address concerns about the Alberta economy.
We are seeking a firm, fixed, and fast deadline to complete the Trans Mountain expansion to get Canadian oil moving to new markets so we can bring investment and jobs back to Canada. I'm specifically asking the government to commit to upholding and enforcing the rule of law to ensure that this happens, and to make it a priority to bring First Nations into the project as equity partners as quickly as possible. The second thing I will be raising this week with my colleagues in Ottawa is asking for payments that we should have received during the height of our downturn. under something called the Fiscal Stabilization Program, a kind of, the way I explain it to folks is a sort of equalization rebate designed to soften a sudden decline in revenues typically for HAB provinces.
Well, our Lethbridge skies are looking mainly cloudy today with a few flurries beginning early this morning and then ending this afternoon. A complete look at the weather picture is coming up after the break. And here's a look at our weather highlights for today and tomorrow in Lethbridge. Today we do have a slight chance of flurries, which will be tapering off this afternoon. The high today is -2 and the low overnight will be -8. Tomorrow the temperature is going to rise to +3 with a mix of scattered clouds there. Looking ahead to the 5-day forecast, that we have a mix of sun and cloud coming up Friday and Saturday, but the temperature is going to dip down to -9 and -6. And then on Sunday and Monday, we're going to see sunshine back in the forecast. But Monday's forecast is only going to be looking at about -8. The temperature will climb to 0 on Monday and then rise again to +1 on Tuesday with scattered clouds. Now, the average highs and lows for this time of year, the high should be around 0 degrees according to the almanac, the low around -12. The highest temperature on this day was in 1993. It was 15 degrees, and the low was a chilly -37. That was back in 2000. The sun rose this morning at 8:18 a.m. and will be setting this afternoon at 4:31 p.m. The day shortening is actually slowing down as we are getting closer and closer to the winter solstice of December 21st. Looking to the national forecast, the west coast today, Victoria, Vancouver will see showers with highs of 7 and 8 degrees, a high of only -11 up in Edmonton with a mix of flurries. Chance of flurries also are expected today in Calgary with a high of -3. The high temperature today in Saskatoon is only -19. It's going to be very chilly across the prairies. Mix of sun and cloud. Snow expected in Regina, high of 11 degrees, and a high of chilly -19 in Winnipeg with lots of cloud coverage there. Looking to Toronto, we're going to see some flurries with a high of -5, -4 expected in Ottawa, and -3 expected in Montreal. Flurries expected in all 3 of those cities today. Looking to Atlantic Canada, we're going to see precipitation of all kinds across the Maritimes today. Rain in Fredericton with a high of -3. Snow expected in Halifax today with a high of 1 degree. A high of -1 in Charlottetown. Showers expected there. And rain is also expected today in St. John's, with the temperature a little higher with 11 degrees. That's your forecast. Here's what's happening in your community.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. Bring your whole family to Breakfast with Santa, taking place Saturday, December 14th from 9 a.m. to noon at the Colehurst High School. Enjoy a delicious pancake breakfast, kids crafts, plus get photos taken with Santa and Mrs. Claus. So much to see and do. Cost is $5 per person or $20 per family. All funds will go to support events and activities at the Colehurst High School. For more information, email tgrindle@shaw.ca. Come for great musical entertainment to A Country Christmas, featuring musical artists Alyssa McQuaid, Cody Hall, Eric Braun, Amy Allred, and more. Taking place Sunday, December 15th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the Gem of the West Museum in Coaldale. Tickets are $15 each. Kids under 10 can enter for free. To purchase your tickets, visit amyallred.com. Make Christmas special for a child in need. Center Village Mall Toy Mountain is accepting donations of new unwrapped toys until December 20th during mall hours. All toys will be distributed through the joint efforts of the Christmas Hope campaign. For details, visit christmashope.ca. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.
Well, Christmas is just around the corner. This is the time of year which can be very difficult for many, including our senior citizens who live on a fixed income. As Loris Alexander explains, there is a program available where you can add a little Christmas cheer to a senior in need.
Christmas to Remember is a thing that Aged Care and London Drugs are partnered up with, and we have name tags that we fill out for seniors in this building, but then also around Lethbridge.
The gifts will then be wrapped and delivered by volunteers on December 18th, just in time for Christmas. Deborah Robertson says the response of the seniors receiving the presents is overwhelming.
Lots of tears and emotion, and that who knew that they wouldn't have a Christmas, and who knew what they needed, and this is perfect. And And thank you so much. And
Gina Polson received a present last year. She tells us her experience.
The most fantastic thing happened to me. A knock came at the door, come in, and a gal came in with a great parcel and said, "Merry Christmas." It was absolutely wonderful. You know, it was so wonderful to be remembered by so many wonderful people.
You can visit London Drugs in Lethbridge or Aged Care Columbia to select a tag with a senior's wish from the tree. For Bridge City News, I'm Loris Alexander.
Well, the votes have been cast and the winner has been named. Time Magazine has named their Person of the Year, and it goes to teenage Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg. The 16-year-old is the youngest person to receive the honor. Time says it chose Thunberg, quote, for sounding the alarm about humanity's predatory relationship with the only home we have. It also says she has shown us what it might look like when a new generation leads. For her part, Thunberg says that she is a bit surprised by being named. Green technology is important, but we should not solely rely on it for an energy source. That is according to Cody Battershill, who is the founder of Canada Action, a grassroots organization that supports Canada's energy industry. His interview with BCN's Paul Arthur is coming up right after the break. Stay with us.